Jesus tells us that he is the Lord of the Sabbath, the special day that God gave his people early in the Old Testament, the principles from which Christians today apply to Sundays, or people like me who work on a Sunday apply to our Sunday equivalent. But let me start, I'm sorry, we are looking at Mark chapter 2. Let me start by saying that I don't think this Bible passage is about Sundays. I think this Bible passage is about Jesus. Mark, still at this stage in his gospel, is speaking of the authority that the Lord Jesus has in his world, and what that looks like for us, why that is good news for us. Let's imagine you decide to join a local swimming pool. And before they give you your membership card, but after they've taken your money, there is an induction session, at which the manager says, we need you to know the rules. And she says things like, don't come before 6:30 in the morning or after 10 o'clock at night. Don't forget to shower before you get in the pool. Don't dive into the shallow end. Don't swim in any parts of the pool that are roped off. Don't stay in the water if the siren goes off. You murmur to the person next to you, a lot of don'ts, isn't there? And the manager hears you. And she smiles and says, yeah, I know, but we so want to keep everyone safe. So that within the framework of the rules, everyone has the freedom to enjoy their time together. But there are countless do's, she said. Do stay as long as you like between those times. Do choose how you swim, your strokes. Do choose who you swim with. Do choose to swim competitively or swim leisurely. Do come to some of our special activity swims. But next to you at this pool induction session are two others. There's Mr. Anti-Rules, and there's Mr. Obsess with the rules. Mr. Anti-Rules, well, I'll do what I like, especially if I think I can get away with it. I'm not going to shower before I get in. I have a shower every morning at home. And the roped off areas, who are they to stop me swimming there? I paid my subs. Mr. Anti-Rules, I'll do what I like. And Mr. Obsess with the rules. So, if the siren goes off for a split second and then stops, do I still have to get out? And you say shower, but how long do you have to shower for? And to be out by 10 p.m, that means you need to be out of the water by 9:48. Why isn't that in the rules? And who do we tell if we see someone breaking the rules? And we instantly see that neither Mr. I'll do what I like, nor Mr. I'll obsess with the rules have quite got it. Neither are going to enjoy their swim in safety. Neither are going to enable others to enjoy their swim in safety. Neither have seen that the rules are their friend to enable them to have a safe and enjoyable environment in which to swim. 10 commandments, 10 principles to cover the whole of life, 10 little windows into the character of God to show us what he is like, how he lives, how he designed us to live. Not a loving pool manager, but a loving father, giving his children the way to live safely and enjoyably in his world. And I say 10 Commandments, but in his Bible, God tells us that really you can boil it down to just 2. Love God with everything you've got. Love other people as much as you love yourselves. And every one of his commandments there to help us, not hinder us. Do not murder. And Jesus later says, which means don't even think murderously. Don't even think maliciously. Wouldn't you be better off? Wouldn't the world be better off if you and everyone else lived like that? Do not murder. That's not God being overly restrictive. It's God giving us safe boundaries within which we can flourish. God's law, God's gift to us for our good and for his glory, so that the world sees the beauty of a godly life and say, wow, what a great God you have. Can I too come under the shadow of his wing? And commandment number 4, the Sabbath principle of making one day different, one day non-working. Mark chapter 2, verse 23, one Sabbath day, as Jesus was walking through some of the grain fields, his disciples began breaking off heads of grain to eat. But the Pharisees said to Jesus, look, why are they breaking the law by harvesting grain on the Sabbath? Jesus and his disciples walking through the fields on the Sabbath. They pick some corn to eat. Breakers of the Sabbath, breakers of God's law, shame on you, cry the religious leaders. Why would they say that? Because they reasoned, just as at the swimming pool, rules are there for a purpose. And if we are serious about the rules, we need to work out what they mean. So they tried to define work. Is reading a report at home work? Is checking my work email account work? What exactly is it that I shouldn't be doing? Just like the swimming pool, what exactly is showering? Is 5 seconds enough? Do I have to use shampoo? And the Pharisees had taken every commandment and broken it down into minute detail. What constitutes work? They come up with 39 categories. Yep, checking work emails is work. Yep, reading a work report at home is work. And yes, harvesting crops is work. Now, what's the trap that the Pharisees had fallen into? Well, they were missing the wood from the trees. They were missing the fact that the law wasn't there to be a burden, it was meant to be a gift. Verse 27, Jesus spells it out. Then Jesus said to them, the Sabbath was made to meet the needs of the people, and not the people to meet the requirements of the Sabbath. The Sabbath is to stop you getting burnt out. The Sabbath is for refreshment. The Sabbath is to protect your family life, your church family life. The Sabbath is there to give you the space you need so that you can meet with God, so that you can meet with his people, so that you can recharge your spiritual batteries. Climbing into your 20-ton combine harvester, no, please leave that till Monday. But grabbing a few bits of grain because you're hungry, no, says Jesus, the Sabbath rules are there to help you, not to stop you from eating. God's law is his gift to you, not his burden. My 2 temptations to become Mr. I'll do what I like, or to become Mr. I'll obsess with the rules. Verse 25, Jesus said to them, haven't you read in the scriptures what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He went into the house of God during the days when Abiathar was high priest and broke the law by eating the sacred loaves of bread that only the priests are allowed to eat. He also gave some to his companions. Jesus refers to an incident where King David and his men were on the run and starving. The high priest had special bread only for ceremonial use, but starving men, no brainer, of course they can eat the special bread. Because God's rules are a gift, not a burden. The rule to keep the bread special was important. It was to teach the people a principle. But if they're starving, then that rule would become a burden, not a benefit. Now, all of this, it seems obvious, doesn't it? But in practice, it does not take some working through because of my two temptations: to become Mr. I'll do what I like, or to become Mr. I'll obsess with the rules. Commandment number 8, don't take what is yours. A couple of months ago, I think it was Norman, someone anyway, found this bag of money in the churchyard. Should we keep it? Should we hand it in to the police? Don't take what is yours, commandment number 8. There's always the temptation, isn't there, to disregard the rules when it doesn't suit us. Mr. I'll do what I like. I hope this doesn't shock you too much. We didn't take it to the police. We kept it for a couple of months in case anyone should reclaim it, and then we said, we'll just bank it. Why? Because the bag of money was a very small bag of coppers totalling less than 50p. And I judged, rightly or wrongly, the police wouldn't have thanked me for creating a mass of paperwork for them for the sake of 50p and giving them the problem of knowing what to do with it. You see, I could have obsessed with the law. In fact, you could obsess about the law with me afterwards and say, you shouldn't have done that. But to have obeyed the law of handing in found money to the police, obeying that to the letter would have caused more cost to others than benefit. And of course, had it not been 50p, had it been 500 quid, that would be a different matter. I'd be on an air ticket somewhere. But it wasn't. The temptation to disregard God's law when it doesn't suit me, but also the temptation to obsess and go way beyond God's intention. Yeah, often it's obvious, but sometimes it requires real judgment. How do we make that judgment? Well, usually it becomes clear when I look at what the purpose of God's law is. What is the purpose of God's law? It's to help me love and honour my God more and to help me love and honour his people more. Handing in 50p wouldn't have helped anyone. It would have just caused a huge hindrance. And so are Sundays. No, this sermon isn't about Sundays. It's about my relationship with Jesus. It's about Jesus and my relationship with him. But my Sundays are one crucial aspect of that, one indication of what my relationship with him really is in practice. How do you decide how to use God's gift to you of a Sunday or your Sunday equivalent? My guess is if you ask 100 different Christians the right way to do Sundays, you will come up with 100 different answers, I imagine. How do you decide what to do? And probably you will be tempted to veer in one of those two directions. How I spend Sunday isn't an issue. I'll do what I feel like, Sunday by Sunday. If I feel like church, I come. If I feel like staying in bed, if I feel like shopping, if I feel like going on a run, if I feel like working. Sunday is mine. I'm the Lord of my Sundays. but I'm not the Lord of my Sundays. Verse 28, so the Son of Man, Jesus, is Lord even of the Sabbath. Please note, and I know this is a hard thing to say, but you know it's true. Please note that no matter what they say, your employer, your family, your sports club, your school, they are not the Lord of your Sundays. Jesus is the Lord of your Sundays, and he has gifted you your Sunday for your good and for his glory. He has gifted you Sundays or your Sunday equivalent so that you can gain rest and refreshment, so that you can be equipped for the coming week. Sunday is not my day. Sunday is the Lord's day. But if I go the other way and obsess about Sundays, if I take it beyond the Lord's intention of being a great day for our spiritual and physical benefit and tie it down with loads of rules and tie others up with a load of additional rules, I'm destroying the gift that he's given to us. How will you spend your Sundays? How will you spend your Sundays in the future so that you can be refreshed by God, be an encouragement to God's people? Will you ponder that when you get home? What would it be wise for you to do, for you to not do? How can you organise the rest of your week so that Sundays are the gift that the Lord of Sundays wants for you? God's wonderful purpose for you, God's wonderful purpose for you to enable you to love him with everything you've got, to enable you to love other people as much as you love yourself. And to help you to do that, the gift to you of his commandments. A gift, not a burden, to help you shape your life. And of course, all of this on top of what we mention every week here, all of this on top of the gift of his Son to take away the consequences of when we mess up our attitude to Sundays, our attitude to him and his wonderful commandments. All of this on top of the gift of his Spirit to write these things on our hearts so we see their beauty, the beauty of the one whose heart they mirror. Followers of the Lord Jesus, are we not the most blessed people on the planet? Are we not the people able to bring the most blessing to others? Because he's not only the Lord of our Sundays, he's the Lord of our lives.